So what is up guys, Nick here helping you to master your technology. Meet the Google Pixel 6a. In this video we're going to take a look at the all new Pixel 6a. Shout outs to hashtag Team Pixel. Hashtag this is a gift from Google for sending this one out. Yeah, definitely grateful for that. So we can take a look at it today. We are looking at the Sage colorway. We do have this that comes in charcoal as well as chalk, but I personally prefer this color. So I'm glad they sent this one out. So you can see we do have a little pull tab right here, but before we actually open the box up, there is a little bit of some specifications up here. As you can see, we do have ourselves a 5G sub 6 Sage, and then it does say 128 gigs. There is actually only one model. It's 128 gigabytes and 6 gigabytes of RAM internal. And let's go ahead and open that up and take a look at the device. Now, first impressions right off the bat, this thing feels fantastic, especially considering that it's only going to be $449. Now, why I really think about this is because I think about, you know, what Apple's charging for an iPhone SE at $429. I mean, look, this is the iPhone 8 essentially, and Google is giving you something super modern, super similar to their current Pixel 6 Pro. And the Pixel 6 Pro definitely runs more than this Google Pixel 6a. And booting it up, you can see it does have a pretty squared front. One thing I can notice right away is at the very bottom, you can see that we don't have ourselves the thinnest bezels in the world, but overall it looks pretty symmetrical. I'll be back when this thing is done booting up, but you can see right here, they are marketing Google Tensor because this is the real big deal here. Not a lot of Android phones at this price point do give you the highest end chip, but Google is providing you with Tensor CPU, which will allow you for this mid-range price to get yourself several years of software support. That is incredibly important because not everybody wants to upgrade their phone every single year, even though, you know, there's a lot of options. It's still not very feasible or even something everyone wants to do. You can see right here, just some warranty guide and stuff like that, SIM card tool. They do provide you with a USB-C to USB-C and an adapter, no charging brick. Of course, most phones don't come with those these days. So here we are taking a look at the Google Pixel 6a. Now again, flat screen, so no curve action on here. You are gonna have your nice flat screen, so if you don't like the curves or accidental presses, not gonna be a problem here. Let's take a look at some of the wallpapers on board. It will launch with Android 12. It's going to get the newer version later this year, so do keep that in mind, probably pretty soon actually. But definitely got some nice wallpapers and styles right here. You still going to get the material, you know, UI, and be able to tweak the themed icons and things like that, basic different colors and stuff. So they really upgraded how you kind of, you know, set up your, you know, customization for this phone. So I really enjoy that. You can see Nature Sweep is kind of what they had swept on here. For the default wallpaper for the Sage Green, I'm sure they're gonna put some other colors for depending on the color you get, but it's kind of got this nice blur to the background, which can bring your icons into focus. So I kind of do like these wallpapers. And if you're wondering why I'm covering wallpapers, it's because it's something I enjoy. When you get a new phone, you kind of like to customize it, play with it a little bit. You can see a punch hole camera up there, so it's going to be a pretty decent affair as well, because you're not going to cover that with an under display camera. So we're going to have ourselves 8 megapixel here. This is not going to be your top of the line. It doesn't do 4K, so do keep that in mind. Now, what about the sides of this phone? You are looking at aluminum rails right here, so that actually gives it a little bit more of a premium feel than you might expect for this phone, so that's pretty nice. On the back, you do have yourself a plastic back, and on the front, you do have yourself Gorilla Glass 3, so they are going with an older, cheaper version of Gorilla Glass, not the latest versions, but again, this is not your premier phone. It still overall feels like a mini version of the Google Pixel 6 Pro, and for those of you who are like, why did they have to go to such a big size with these 6 and 6 Pro? If you want the smaller version, this is the least big version of the three. This is kind of more, I would say, like an iPhone 12 kind of size, so iPhone 13 kind of size. If you kind of like that size, is standard size, you're gonna enjoy it. This does have a triple camera though on the Pixel 6 Pro, Over here you can see they're only coming with a dual camera setup, which should be enough for most people because they are throwing on some pretty good dual cameras. You're looking at yourself two 12 megapixels, one's a 12.2, and it can do 4K 60, of course with all the AI algorithm stuff that Google does and giving you the magic eraser and all that. We'll talk about that more in the review. This camera is going to be a boss. We already know that. We don't got to keep on and on about that. So let's go ahead and just take a quick photo here. You can see, as you would expect, just fire and take the shot and it'll do its own software tricks and you're gonna get premium nice photos every time basically. It does have an ultra wide camera as well, and you can zoom in, but you're not gonna be able to zoom in like into a telephoto version because it does have an ultra wide lens. But overall, with Google's software tricks, the zoom photos actually look pretty good as well. In addition, we do have, again, 4K 60 video and some modes here. It's your standard Google setup. Now, first impressions on this display though, I have to tell you, man, I could tell you right from the start, this thing is just not that bright. Now, you have to crank it way up to see that brightness. That's not gonna be a problem for most people, but it's nowhere near as bright as some other displays I've seen out there. It's 429 pixels per inch, so it should be good there when it comes to its actual sharpness. I do like that, but overall I gotta say it's just not super bright, so that is a sacrifice you're taking. In addition, I could tell already with this 60 Hz panel, this is not a 90 Hz or 120 Hz. The overall feel is a little choppy looking compared to a Google Pixel 6 Pro, which does have itself a 120 Hz display. So if we do go ahead and log into this phone right here, let me put my passcode. So on the Google Pixel 6 Pro, it's just gonna feel a lot smoother. So they're definitely separating the line between the Pixel 6 Pro and the 6A, letting you know if you get the more premium, you pay more money, you're gonna get the much smoother display. You're gonna get the 60 Hz here. Most people who've never seen 120 Hz or owned a phone with that won't care. But by the way, you can kind of just see the difference in size. This is a mini-me version of the Google Pixel 6 Pro, so definitely like it a lot. It's a great option for those of you who don't want a super large curved panel smartphone. So we're not gonna make this video too long. It's already about 8-9 minutes. We're gonna wrap it up here. It's $449. It's got aluminum rails. It's pretty simple setup here. You're just getting the Tensor CPU, which is gonna make this phone fast for the long haul. And this phone is available for pre-order now. You can get it on July 28th officially. You can just pre-order it now though and just have it come on time. Things like the Galaxy A53 might have a brighter, bigger display, and Samsung knows how to do displays, but I can tell you right now, it's not gonna perform as good or as, performance-wise, Tensor is just gonna be better than the CPU in the A series, but you do get yourself a 120 Hz display on here, so there are things to be said about the competition. I didn't personally like the A53 too much because it was a laggy experience to me, so we'll see how this one goes. And then you got your iPhone SE, which of course is Apple. This is probably more of a good comparison because Apple's the one giving you a long haul software support, and Google's gonna do the same here with Tensor, likely around 5 years on this phone. So long term, this is a great option for you. I also want to take a quick look next to last year's Google Pixel 5a, which I believe also had a 60 Hz panel on here. So definitely you're gonna feel like you get in a nice little change here with this phone, but this phone actually feels slightly more compact on the Google Pixel 6a versus the 5a, and definitely with the camera bar looking more modern. At the end of the day, on this first look, first impressions, I think Google has a real winner on its hands. It feels more like a value proposition than the iPhone SE. Samsung is close here. They're giving you a lot of components like nice 120 Hz display, but they're cheaping out on the processor, not nearly as fast performance as the S line, whereas Google's giving you that strong performance and just kind of lowering the overall components, like giving you a little bit less display, a little bit less camera, a little bit less everything, just a little bit, but still enough to make it a good Pixel experience. So I think Google really has a winner here. But give me a little more time. I'm gonna put my SIM in here, use this phone for a few days, and I'll hit you back with a full review on this device shortly. But on first impressions, it looks very solid. Great option in this price category. Let me know your thoughts on it down below. Do you plan on getting a Google Pixel 6a? Are you like, nope, not for me. I don't like Pixel phones. I don't like Android phones. I'm just an iPhone user. I'm just a Samsung user. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know what you want to see going forward, comparisons, reviews, camera stuff, battery, whatever. Let me know what you need to know before I continue on with content. I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.